Welcome back. Time for another build. This time, the real grade Sazabi. So if you haven't seen some of my other videos, I mentioned this is one of my favorite models. Just, it's a beast, it's a brute. I love how it looks. I've done the master grade. The last I did was the high grade. Conversation with a viewer on that one, they mentioned that the real grade was one of their favorite kits. So of course, I had to go grab it. So do the usual here. We'll unbox it, time-lapse out the build. I'll show what it looks like at the end and then come around and talk about it. So let's get this thing out of the box. Okay, let's see what we're getting into here. So, got our usual sticker style decal sheet. Pretty decent amount there. Got some nice reflective ones. And of course, being Sazabi, we got some reds, blacks, yellows. Of course, again, being the model it is, tons of reds and blacks. Right? And then our instructions. See what we're getting ourselves into here. Always love the poses and the imagery. It's always nice. It looks like we're looking at 18, 19 pages and quite a few decals here. So this is going to be fun. I love this model. So let's get to it. All right, let's take a look at it. Let's talk about this guy a little bit. So build time, this one came in right at 5.5 hours for me. And that's probably half, maybe a bit more of the decals. I love the white-red contrast for the decals on this particular model, so I do a bit more of them. But anyway, that's probably about typical for me for this kind of real grade. It has some inner frame pre-molded kind of parts, but not like a full inner frame where you get like the whole arm, the whole leg kind of thing. So a bit more assembly than some of the other real grades you might run across. The instructions for it, I'm going to call them typical Gundam instructions, okay? They're not horrible, but there are a couple spots here and there. They're a little vague, a little ambiguous. You have to stop and think about things. That's normal, right? I don't consider that to be a bad thing. I did have a few parts broke on the runners, which was a little strange for me. I've not had that happen before. And so I don't know if that's a kit thing or if it's like just my specific kit got handled poorly. Hard to tell. But there were probably 6 or 8 parts that were broke loose from the runners that I had to deal with cleaning up and everything. So fit and finish on it, solid, okay? The legs were a pain to assemble. There's some very tight, intricate fits involved with the legs themselves, the armor and stuff. So that takes like just the right kind of alignment and everything to get them to go together well. So that took a few stabs, and I was kind of afraid that maybe I had gotten some pieces off and had bent some little spots here and there. I didn't, thankfully, but I could see where you could do that really easy with this model. The other kind of pain point was in the hips. I'll show the instructions so you kind of see what I'm talking about, but there's some little clips where the front armor and the side armor clips on. And when you pull it out of the runner, they're horizontal and you need them to be vertical. And the instructions kind of show you just like clip the armor on and just twist it down. Well, I clipped and twisted and broke the first one I did. So a little creative gluing fixed that particular clip. After that, I then kind of moved them by hand where I wanted them before I put the armor on. Otherwise, the assembly for it was really straightforward. It's a really solid kit. Quite a few gimmicks, especially considering real grade, right? We have movements here in the arms, here, cockpit opens, of course the funnel packs open, the funnels themselves move. The arms actually like kind of extend out. There's a spot that you can move and they'll kind of telescope out just a tad bit. You have some jets here that come out, some jets in the back. So lots of movement here, which is nice for a real grade. You need an action base for him. This is like the second or third kit I've done recently where it's like, if you want to do anything with this guy, you need a base. I mean, even just standing here is a bit of a stretch for it, really. And I've done the high grade and the master grade and didn't have the same level of kind of unbalance. So I was kind of surprised when the real grade is like that. But just know, if you really want to do much with him, get a base. And if you look at the instructions, it occurred to me afterwards that a lot of the imagery in the instructions shows it on a base, which is kind of a dead giveaway, right? Otherwise, it's a great kit. I mean, I just love the model to begin with, and so I'm kind of predisposed to just love it regardless. And just for fun, if you have contemplated the master grade, this will give you an idea of what you're looking at. If you decide, master grade, or if you've done the master grade and you're like, hey, real grade seems like fun, here's what you're going to get. If you've done the real grade and you're like, I wonder what would happen if I did the master grade, this is what you're going to get. This guy is a brute and a beast. I love the master grade. Just the size of it just translates well for this model. But the real grade is great. I love the build, love the kit, just everything about it, solid. So the question always is, somebody comes along and asks, I'm going to say yes, go grab it, okay? There is nothing wrong with this kit. If you're ready for a real grade, you will love it, and you will love the results if you love this model. So that is that. And as always, keep the feedback and the comments coming. I love it. I love the comments. You guys teach me something new like every time you say something, and it's awesome. And thanks for watching.